evening, Lacrosse fans, and welcome to Birmingham Seaholm High School. I'm Brad Fetters for BACB Sports, continuing our spring coverage tonight with girls varsity lacrosse, a matchup between our Birmingham United team and Rochester Hills Stoney Creek. We started out our coverage tonight with Birmingham. They come in with a record of 4-14 on the season and have been scuttling as of late, losers of 3 straight, as they have also dropped 7 of their last 8. We'll look to get some momentum here tonight with a big victory over Stoney Creek. Samantha Maselli is the head coach of Birmingham, and she is alongside the second member of our broadcast team, Andy Aubrey.
All right, Brad, thank you very much. We are down here now with the Birmingham head coach, Samantha Maselli. And, Coach, the one time a year you get to put up with us and answer a bunch of inane questions about your team. But no, why don't you bring us up to speed? We've seen better years in the past, as you and I discussed earlier, but give us kind of an overview of the season.
It's been a rough season, but we have also a lot of positives, too, to look forward to. We have 2 seniors that we're celebrating tonight, Lindsay and Grace, that have just done a great job and showing their maturity that they have on the field and leading this group of young players.
Right. All right, now you were also telling me that you've employed some techniques to try and just sort of keep everybody's head in the game. What's that about?
Yes, we've brought in a group, Champion Mindset Group, little sports psychology, just getting our mind right on the field. And we are looking for the brand of Birmingham Lacrosse. What are we? What do we want people to say about us when we leave the field?
Okay. Is it working? What have you seen coming up by that so far?
We are starting to see some progress. It does a great job in keeping the girls focused and just rechecking them in during long practices, long games that, okay, guys, are we showing what we want our brand to represent?
Okay, great. So then to wrap it up, I know we're going to have some senior ceremony here later. Little bittersweet saying goodbye to some of the same team members, right?
It definitely is. They've both been on varsity for 3 years. We've known them, and the nice thing about the program is we started in the 1st grade, so we've known these girls all growing up and getting to see the great things they contribute on and off the field.
Well, sounds great. We look forward to the game later, and you got a home field to defend here. We wish you the best of luck, and to the graduating seniors in the future. But thanks, Sam, and we'll see you again. Okay.
It's always good to see you.
Always a pleasure, and we'll wrap it up right now, but send it right up to Brad Fetters.
All right, thank you, Coach Maselli and Andy. As for the Stoney Creek Cougars, they come in red hot, winners of 7 in a row. And it is a terrific offense that is nearly averaging 13 goals per game while just giving up 6 per game. They have a record of 13-3. As I mentioned, winners of 7 straight, including a 14-6 win over Farmington at home in their last contest. Their head coach is Dale Coates, who's alongside Andy Aubrey.
All right, Brad, thank you again. We are here with Stoney head coach Dale Coates. Dale, welcome to Birmingham. You made the long journey over from points beyond North Rochester Hills. You're in foreign territory, but tell us about your team. You guys are having a heck of a season. The ladies are 13-3, you mentioned, and what's gone right besides most everything?
We've had a pretty good season. I have no real complaints. Every game's been competitive. Our 3 losses, we lost by 4 goals totaled. So it's been a really good season. It's fun. I'm sad it's come to an end. We're excited to be here because we haven't played Seaholm for many, many years as far as I know. So this is like a cross-divisional game. So we're trying that this year. We decided to do that in the OAA. So it's kind of exciting to be here. So we haven't played for a long time. So we're excited actually to come out here. It's not that bad of a drive.
No, it's not too far.
Construction,
Well, that's the trick, right? And that's the big if. So they're going to have a little senior ceremony for Seaholm here in a minute, and you're at Seaholm. It's a unified team, of course. But when you have to say goodbye to a senior, it's got to be tough, right? I mean, you've kind of grown up with them in this game.
It is. There's 4 of them that have been on varsity since the freshmen, and Delaney, Boyer, Avery Sackdalen, and Sarah LaPrairie. It's tough to see all of them go. So we've watched them mature over the years, and Avery's going to play at U of D next year, so it's exciting we'll get to watch her continue her play, so that's kind of exciting.
Nice. All right. Well, that's fun. She'll be local. All right. Well, that's really all we have. We're going to watch a pretty good team in the 13-3 Stoney Creek Club, and it should be a lot of fun because you've proven yourself, and I would think there's some after-season aspirations for this squad, right?
We're hopeful, yeah. Our first game is against Avondale, and, we're pretty confident that the next one after that is either Cranbrook or Country Day, so that gets a little tougher, but we'll see what happens.
It's tough. All right, well, best of luck to you. Thank you for coming out to Birmingham. Appreciate taking time. And we will wrap it up from down here, but don't you go away, because we're going to start this one right away.
Thank you.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back to Birmingham Seaholm High School. Brad Fetters alongside Andy Aubrey, nearly set to go for girls varsity lacrosse. Birmingham in their home whites, Stony Creek in their road blues with gold numerals. Your starting goaltenders tonight. First for Birmingham, it'll be Ava Borovich, the junior, in net, getting the start, and countering her in goal for Stony Creek will be Lily Wolf. Opening draw is won and controlled by Birmingham. Here comes Chloe Weber. On the doorstep, nothing available to Scuddaburs. Scuddaburs, one of two seniors, Andy, honored prior to the game here tonight.
Yeah, it's senior night here, and we're seeing an array of them in these last few weeks of our sports schedule. So tough for these coaches to move on. These players leave, but there's always a whole new crop coming behind them.
Chloe Weber, the junior, going to have the opportunity here off of the reset. Waiting for everyone to get set up. 11 minutes exactly left to go here in the first. Weber walks in, shoots, and scores. She nets the very first goal of the game, and Birmingham has taken the early 1-0 lead.
Well, in a symbolic way, you would look at these two teams on paper and say that there's a vast disparity, certainly in the one-loss column. But road games, Stoney has to come in here to Birmingham, and they still got to prove it. And they, are now down 1-0 already. So if nothing else, maybe a little bit of a psychological boost for our Birmingham ladies.
Well, you mentioned the discrepancy in the overall records, and we can talk about that. Birmingham struggling, obviously, this season at 4-14 overall. And when you take a look at Stony Creek, they're 13-3. But when you kind of really dive deeper into things, and you take a look at the state rankings, Birmingham is playing out of Division I, Stony Creek playing out of Division II. So right away, that's maybe a red flag in terms of the competition. When you take it a little step further, Birmingham's ranked 30th in the state of Michigan. Stony Creek ranked 43rd in the state of Michigan, 21st in Division II. Birmingham, although they don't have the greatest of records, 16th in Division I, and those numbers are brought to you by laxnumbers.com. So off the reset, quick shot. Whoa, long rebound.
Yeah, so it's really a matter of your competition, Brad. This is a matter of who you've faced, who you've gone up against, and Birmingham has had a very tough schedule.
Loose ball picked up by Birmingham, looking to create here on the offensive end right away. Terrific outlet pass. Oh, boy. We had a Birmingham player that had gotten past every line of defense imaginable and walking in wide open. Morgan Wolfson, the sophomore, pulled the trigger, and she sent the shot a little bit too high. So Wolfson, first one to get back, so she will reset from beyond the end line. Wolfson has it now, comes around the front of the goal, delivers a good pass over to Kusis, gets it right back on the give and go with Weber. Weber gets the screen, splits two defenders. Weber walks in and gets her second goal of the game. Made it look easy. She's a goal scorer. She is an offensive threat for Birmingham.
Well, you've heard the phrase any given Sunday. On this occasion, it's any given Monday. We have a little bit of a surprise start to this one, Brad, with a 2-0. Birmingham takes the early lead against a team that they have not had the same season again from a one-loss standpoint, but that's why they play the games. So we will watch this one transpire, but early on, Birmingham enjoys a 2-0 lead.
Yeah, as I mentioned at the very top of tonight's broadcast, this Stony Creek team comes in red-hot winners of 7 straight, including their most recent game, a 14-6 win over Farmington. So one would think Stony Creek would have a bit of a momentum edge coming into play here this evening, but Chloe Weber has answered the bell, so to speak, as that ball hit the outside of the cage. Everyone kind of paused. I think most of the girls down at field level thought that ball went in.
Yeah. Yep, it looked like the net moved, but it hit the outside of it. So it's got to go inside that orange square, you see.
Ava Borovich, the goaltender, having some problems clearing out that ball. It's still loose. Ground ball picked up by the Cougars. Looking to create. Seidel around behind the cage. Comes out now. Twists, turns, fires. A little bit of a bounce shot. And it's deflected out of the way. Stony Creek will reset. Very top of the formation. Sachdalen has it, twirls the lacrosse stick, looks to create, looks for that opening. Now begins her pursuit, loses control of it. A couple defenders come in and push it out of the zone. Chinonis, the freshman, able to outlet. Still loose. That was an opportunity for Birmingham to clear it out, and luckily they're going to avoid it, as the shot by Addison Fogler was sent wide.
Yeah, Birmingham had dodged a bullet, but they've gotten possession, but were not able to maintain that possession. That ball's pesky, Brad. It won't want to stay in that net all the time, especially when you got players from the other side and hacking and whacking at it.
Sarah LaPrairie has it. Being guarded tight by Chinonis. Chinonis goes to the ground. Ball still loose. It's going to kill off a lot of this first quarter clock, and finally escaping out of the defensive zone, streaking down the far side of the field. Good stick-to-stick pass. This is a bounce pass right into Koussis' stick, who goes top shelf for the third goal of the game. That's creating offense from the defensive zone, and that was some pretty passing. And an even better goal by the junior.
Yeah, let's take another look at it here, and sort of comes in, goes high, sort of hits the crossbar and bounces down in for the third goal of this game for Birmingham. And this is definitely not the game we expected to see yet. Maybe a case of Stoney taking the Birmingham team with the poor record a little bit lightly, but as you mentioned, Brad, their competition has been tougher in Birmingham. So, when you face a team maybe with a bloated one-loss record, you have to look at who they beat. And, well, Birmingham is doing quite well early.
Stony Creek just giving up just over 6 goals per game. So this is a defensive unit that has shined throughout the season. And to kind of put things into context, Birmingham only averaging 8 goals per game, so this isn't exactly an offensive unit that's lighting the world on fire, but 3 quick goals here to open up play, and Birmingham clearly in the driver's seat in a good spot here in the first quarter. Stony Creek looking for their very first goal of the game. Addison Fogler pulls up, looks back, trying to spot a trailing teammate. Fogler has it now, stalls a little bit. Dylan Schoenberg, the sophomore, supplying the defense there for Birmingham. Pass goes behind the cage. A little keep away action right now by the Cougars, trying to set up their offense. Defense kind of sags back. It filled up the box around the goal. Here comes the cutter. Quick snapshot is no good. Addison Fogler tried to go low. Shot sailed wide, but it'll stay with Stony Creek here on their offensive end.
And Stony Creek's had their share of opportunities so far, but thankfully for the Birmingham team, they have those shots have sailed wide.
Force Stoney on the reset here. Addison Fogler nets the very first Cougar goal of the game.
Well, they weren't going to stay off the scoreboard the whole game, so that's one for the visitors here. It's 3-1 now. 5 minutes left to play in the first quarter still, and Birmingham still looking good early, but Stoney said, hey, wait a minute.
And we mentioned Birmingham averaging 8 goals per game. Stony Creek, their offense has scored over 200 goals on the season. That was their 202nd goal of the season. They are averaging just under 13 goals per game, so perhaps a lucky number 13 for Stony Creek this season.
Yeah, that number doesn't bother everybody, and
well, obviously doesn't bother Addison Fogler, the goal scorer for Stony Creek. She wears it. And right on the doorstep, netting the 4th goal of the game, Alacusis, the junior. So she now has 2 goals in the game. Chloe Weber with 2 as well. A little bit of a 1-2 punch for Birmingham in this ball game.
Yeah, and Birmingham almost halfway to their goals per game average here, and we're still in the first quarter here. So it's a very unusual start to this game, but one that I'm sure Coach Maselli is absolutely thrilled with.
So number 5, Chloe Weber with 2 goals. Number 81, Alacusis with 2 goals. So 5 and 81 for BU. 13, the goal scorer, Addison Fogler for Stony Creek. BU wins another draw. We'll have possession of it. Alacusis loses it, picks it right back up. Looking to create on the offensive end once again, sets a bit of a screen. Quick shot, even better save made by Lily Wolf. Save of the game thus far. And now Wolf will be able to reset the offense. Ball pops straight up into the air. We get another look at that last goal.
That was the save there, actually, but the goal came.
It's physical play behind the shot. Scudderber's, the senior, fouled in the act of shooting, so she will be able to get off the reset, and she scores. So the senior on senior night gets involved in the offense.
Well, Birmingham, dare I say, pouring it on here in the first quarter. It's 5-1, and we were expecting a much, much different start to this one. We'll take a quick look at this 5th goal here. And Schutterbers goes high on that and pumps it into the back of the net. And Birmingham's in good shape right now.
Face-off will be controlled by Stony Creek based on the officials' proclamation. Fogler, goal scorer for the Cougars. A little bit of a substitution. Sarah Warner will step onto the field of play, replaces Sarah Adams for Stony Creek. Official on the far side threw the flag. So we'll have a reset here. Scoring opportunity for the Cougars. And an easy goal. Avery Sachdalen.
Well, you don't want to give up too many opportunities like that to a team like Stony Creek. We'll see it here. It's too easy.
And it looks like they waved off the goal.
Oh, they did.
So the score will remain 5-1. Quick snapshot. Borovich goes down, makes the save. 2:05 left to go, opening quarter of play. A little 4-on-2 here for Birmingham. Stick-to-stick pass. And contact made. Isabella Cantillo. And it's Jordan Schoenberg, the sophomore, number 19. So a tough sequence of events there for Stony Creek. They have their goal waved off. BU gets possession of it. streaks down the field, and that's their 6th goal of the game. Take the 6-1 lead.
Well, yeah, it's been all Birmingham here. We are still a minute and 47 away from the end of this first quarter. It feels like it's been a lifetime, I'm sure, for Coach Dale Coates and his ladies. But it's far from over. We can't assume this one's even near the end. So,
and one would have to imagine the Cougars have something in their back pocket. It might start right here with a minute and a half left to go in the first quarter, looking for some instant offense to get the screen. Some pretty good defense being displayed right now by Birmingham. And some contact made by the defender. So Sarah LaPrairie will get an opportunity. Wiggles the stick, fires. That one banged off the post. Long rebound all the way out to the 30-yard line. Officials just say play on.
yeah, everybody was laying around on the ground looking around.
Chloe Weber kind of put up her arms as to say, well, I didn't do anything. And the official agreed. Now Weber walks in and scores the hat trick goal. My, oh, my.
You know, it's a good night when you got a hat trick in the first quarter still. Wow, this is surprising.
So she makes contact with Jones. Jones goes down. Official says play on. Chloe Weber uses the opportunity to march right down the field on this near side and fires the 3rd goal of the game for her in the back of the net. 7-1 onslaught of offense here by Birmingham in this first quarter of play.
Yeah, we're going to have to get our research department on finding out what the most goals they've scored in a game so far this year.
19. They've done it twice.
Asking you shall receive. Look at that. The crack staff, also known as Brad Fetters.
Dearborn Divine Child, they had a 19-8 victory over them and a 19-5 victory over Grosse Pointe South.
Well, and this is a surprising start to this game, but certainly their goal record for the season is in jeopardy of falling, considering the number they've scored already this game. And another one with 10 seconds left, the 8th goal goes in.
And we get a flag. And let's see here what the outcome of this decision is.
And the ref's arm went up before the shot, so we're going to see.
They're going to give it to her, and it's Chloe Weber once again. They're going to say it's a good goal. At least the announcement was made. Yeah, it looks like they're going to bring the ball away out. I'm going to put 2 minutes up on the penalty clock as well, so a little bit of insult to injury there if you're a Stony Creek fan. And the horn will sound to end the first quarter of play. All Birmingham, all the time. If you're a BU fan, you are smiling right now as they lead at 8-1. We'll take a quick break here on BACB Sports. When we come back, the start of the second quarter of play.
If you love them enough to relearn math so you can teach them math, then surely you'll check nhtsa.gov/the right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Two teams have traded ends. 12 minutes back up on the big board. A minute 52 still remaining in the Stony Creek penalty. So Birmingham will have the woman advantage here to start this quarter of play, already leading 8-1. Clearly in the driver's seat here in this girls' varsity lacrosse contest. Birmingham now going left to right. Connecting on the pass. Scudder's opportunity. It's going to take it wide. Goes behind the cage. Connects there with Costello. Costello balks a couple times. Now fires a pass. Right on the doorstep. Wide open. Too easy. Sophie Sullivan, the junior, Another Birmingham player getting involved in the offense.
Well, spread the wealth around a little bit, right?
Comes the 5th different Birmingham player to score this evening. Lead swells up to 9-1. Stony Creek going to look for some changes as they will bring Delaney Bauer out onto the field now. 90 seconds still remain on that Stony Creek penalty.
Yeah, dare I say this is an avalanche of goals early in this one.
Now, Stony Creek's going to have to come up with some sort of answer here. This is, you get the feeling, a very crucial part of this ball game, as it can ill afford to fall down even more. Assenfogler some cuts, but just nothing available right now. Passing lanes clogged up. Birmingham really harassing the point player there, forcing her to retreat. That was terrific defense by Lindsay Lures, the other senior that was honored prior to the start of tonight's game. Lulu Davis twists her way out of trouble. Still has it. Looks upfield. Connects there with Sullivan. Sullivan coming off her goal. 30 seconds remaining in the man advantage for Birmingham. Chloe Weber, the ever dangerous, goes over to the left wing side. Weber turns on the Jets. Can't beat the defenders, so will peel back momentarily. Scans the offensive end. Lindsay Lures. Scuddabers. And another goal. Boy, oh boy. Birmingham turning this into a clinic. It's Sullivan again.
And seemingly scoring at will. And this is, it's a rout. I think it's officially in rout category. We'll see this last goal, the 10th one of the game for Birmingham. Finding the open player right on the doorstep. All she had to do was turn around and whip it into the net. And we have a 10-1 game here at this point. The wheels kind of falling off early for Stony Creek, and a team that came in with a fairly gaudy 13-3 record is not really showing it thus far in this one. And we learned this from Lacrosse recently in the boys' game, though, that it's a game of runs, and you can't let down, because anything, 3-4 goals suddenly changes the outlook of a game, and it's a momentum shift type of thing. So we shall see, but Birmingham's certainly in a good place early here.
Prairie, surrounded by 3 white jerseys, going to have to retreat once again. Terrific pass, and then knocked right off the stick. Lindsay Lures just getting back defensively. Now shovels a pass ahead. Scuddabers comes up into the offensive zone, gains it. Whoa, outstretched stick. The pass connected. Lures save made by Lily Wolf. And now a whistle from far side official. So you mentioned Stony Creek and that 13-3 record. I'll take that a step further, Andy. Their 3 losses this season have been by a combined 4 goals. They had a 2-goal loss to Lake Orion, 13-11, and 2 1-goal losses, an 8-7 loss to Notre Dame Prep, and an 11-10 defeat at the hands of the Troy Colts. So they have been in every single game this season and have had 3 very difficult and tough losses. Nothing to this extent so far this season, so really got to credit Birmingham and what they've been able to do in the early parts of this game.
Yeah, this game is uncharted waters for them, for the types of games they've played up till now.
Elakusis on the reset, and nothing going right for the Cougars. As that's Kousis's 3rd goal now of the game, gives her a hat trick, and it is now a 10-goal Birmingham lead.
But talking to Coach Coates before the game, as I did, they've got some aspirations for postseason success. That their record, you would have to argue, doesn't sound crazy. They were 13-3, and like you mentioned, they were in all games they lost too. So you start looking, your eyes get big, looking at the postseason possibility for a team like this. And but a wake-up call. Wow, Birmingham's giving it to them straight out in this one. And maybe it's the sort of thing a team gets a little comfortable with itself, and they end up, letting up slightly. But we just have our 12th goal of this game now, and 7:44. We're going to have a running clock, it looks like.
Lily Herschelman, the junior. Gives Sophie Sullivan the assist. So that's Herschelman's first goal of the game. So this might provide an opportunity now for Coach Maselli to work in some of her reserves, get a lot of different players involved in this game. A little bit of a high cross check by Chloe Weber there. Vivek taking a shot there.
And they should. There's no place in the game for stick work like that. Looked like it could have been inadvertent, so we'll give her the benefit of the doubt on that. But
so we have a 2-minute penalty put up on the board for the cross check by Chloe Weber. That'll give Stony Creek an advantage here.
And our rules on the running clock, Brad, are we believe it's a 12-goal margin at a point when they will keep the clock running for the rest of the game. Right now it's 11, so we will see if that holds true. Still 1 and change on the penalty left right now.
And a whistle prior to that ball being deposited into the net. So Stony Creek will reset. Delaney Bauer had it knocked off her stick. Loose ball popped up, controlled by Birmingham. Outlet ahead. Grace Scudderburg calls for it, receives it. Prairie providing some support from behind. Scudderburg goes behind the net once again. Birmingham an opportunity to set up. Costello slams on the brakes, tries to change direction. Will go back out to the perimeter with it. Koussis and fires one. She took a bit of a spill. Checking is frowned upon in the girls' game, if not downright forbidden.
Forbidden. We're trying to teach fundamentals and sportsmanship over here, Brad. No place in this game for whacking somebody over the head with a stick. We just won't have it.
So Stony Creek emerges with the ball. Addison Fogler is a Birmingham player. Went down. That was Jane Brush that blew a tire.
She did. She was going backwards.
The Prairie knocked down, so the physical play is certainly amped up.
Well, they've already been running quite a lot. I know it's still the first half, but those legs get tired. And, I was just watching these ladies. It's a lot of running. Wondering, what's the most physically demanding sport that we call? I mean, it's got to be either this. Soccer, there's a lot of running. Water polo is tough, but it's shorter.
Well, hockey and spurts, definitely.
Yeah, hockey's up there.
Well, I don't think there's necessarily an easy sport. Is a terrific save made by Ava Borovich. I think in terms of running, it's always been said soccer, right?
Well, there's easier sports from the standpoint of just being tired out and exhausted. Like, I wouldn't put baseball necessarily up in that category. If we've seen some of the major leaguers over the years, you notice that you don't have to be in the greatest shape. It helps. It certainly helps.
I would think football, in terms of just the physical nature of the game, has to be demanding on the body.
Yeah, especially if you're a running back or, getting a lot of carries or a wide receiver. They send on the fly pattern all the time. They can wipe you out.
Vivek has it. Approaching 3 minutes left to go in the first half of play. Birmingham in command, 12-1. So glad you decided to tune us in here on BACB Sports. Brad Fetters alongside Andy Aubrey. Starting to kind of wind down our spring coverage. Feels like we just got started and we're already winding things down. I think we got just, a softball doubleheader left to go. That one will take place between our two rival schools, Groves and Seaholm. They combined forces here tonight.
Yes, there's peace in our time with certain sports. Lacrosse being one of them. Hockey another.
Two Birmingham players collided. But it was Ava Borovich with the save. Penalty is over. Birmingham back to full strength. A race for that loose ball is going to be won momentarily by number 14, Sarah Adams of Stony Creek. She takes a spill. She's going to duck under one of those longer sticks. And I was going to tightrope this near side. Adjust the goggles mid-stride.
Can't have the goggles slipping down on you. Maybe a little bit of perspiration is the culprit there.
It is a warm night here in Birmingham. Beautiful night. About 75 degrees. Temperatures in the low 80s earlier.
Yeah, nice day today. We've had some cold and rainy ones for lacrosse, though. I know that. Which players actually, except for the rain part, they like, the footing gets a little slippery. But with all this running, there's a lot of sweating going on when it's above a certain temperature.
Wilburn had the intercept. Chionis with the steal here for Birmingham. Chionis with some numbers, has 4 white jerseys ahead of her, outlets it ahead. Costello on that far side, feeds it in front. What a pass by Costello. And Koussis able to beat the goaltender clean once again. That's Koussis' 4th tally. So all of a sudden, she is in the running for BACB Sports Player of the Game.
Well, we had to do the co thing the other day.
Yeah, at soccer.
Yep.
Dual shutouts.
Good look at Ella there, and she's on the doorstep, and she won't have too many better opportunities in that one. She makes good on it for the 13th goal of the game, and Birmingham side has basically achieved their high water mark for the season in the first half of this game. And there's another. Oh, they're coming fast and furious now.
Hadley Costello gets involved, her first goal of the game. So you look down to record a note, you look up, and the ball's in the back of the net.
You got to keep your eyes on the field here, Brad.
That's how quick they're going in, is this running clock is eventually going to run out here on the first half of play. 14 first-half goals. You mentioned high watermark this season, 19 goals for this Birmingham squad. The most that Stony Creek has given up this season was just 13 against Lake Orion. And that 13-11 loss, that was in early April 3rd. So that was a long time ago. And Stony Creek has to be a little shell-shocked right now as they trail 14-1 heading into the halftime break. We, too, will take a break here on BACB Sports with the score, Birmingham 14, Stony Creek 1. Don't go anywhere. We'll be back with the start of the second half of play.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
It's halftime, and we're going to take a look at some of the highlights of our first half, which were all Birmingham all the time. And we'll just let this run because there was one after another, and the Birmingham squad started early, and they scored often, and they haven't looked back yet. So we're gonna have a running clock here in the second half as a result, because that's how the rules are. If it's a 12 goal deficit, you'll see the clock continue to run, even during what would traditionally and normally be considered play stoppage opportunities. So that was number 5, Chloe Weber, and she's just been all over the place, as have all her teammates this half, first half, all Birmingham. It was just an onslaught of goals here. So we shall see what happens come second half of play, but Birmingham, they need to play some good defense, and they're looking at taking this one into the barn. So that's going to do it for our highlights. We will be taking a quick break here, but don't go away. We will have the second half of play coming up after these messages.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. But only you can prevent wildfires.
Welcome back to Birmingham Seaholm High School. Second half of play. Birmingham in front by the score of 14-1. Chloe Weber, 4 goals in this contest. Kusis, 4 goals as well. The lone Stony Creek goal was scored by Addison Fogler back in the first quarter of play. So it's Birmingham that wins the opening draw to start the second half of play. Weber has it. Tries to deke out the defender. Takes a short pass over to Kusis. Wraparound opportunity, going to defer, and penalty call. Scuddabers will reset. Scuddabers has 1 goal. Would like to add on a second goal here. Waiting for everyone to get set. These little common fouls. They, that's
Oh, the old hip check.
So welcome back to BACB Sports coverage, 55 seconds into the second half. Apologize for some technical difficulties on our end as Grace Scuddabers scores after the penalty infraction. So Scuddabers' second goal of the game.
And, you know, sometimes games get away from teams. It just happens. And even though Stony Creek has not had a lot of experience being down like they are in this game, everything's an opportunity, right, Brad? So, you know, Coach Coates, I'm sure, is talking to his girls about what it's like to answer adversity and get some other players some playing time. Maybe they don't always have a chance to get in games. So, you know, some pluses can come from this. It's not all gloom and doom. And on the Birmingham side, hey, you got to learn how to win with class, too. So they haven't had an opportunity to be up in a lot of games like this. So a little bit uncharted water for them as well as them getting some of their bench players involved in the action. So it's the spirit of competition. We just got to keep playing. In this particular game, there's going to be a running clock. So, you know, the goal is not to humiliate anybody, but let's hope things don't get chippy. We have seen games lopsided like this. Things get a little physical.
And another doorstep goal.
That's it.
By number 6, Lindsay Lures. I knew that it didn't quite come out right.
Well, we do our share of talking doing this, and sometimes I wonder what in the world I said just a moment before, as a matter of fact.
You have those moments, too? Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Mine usually occur about 3 o'clock in the morning, and I'll wake up from a deep sleep and go, what did I say during the third quarter of that girls' lacrosse game tonight?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Well, why did I say that, not this, right?
Yep.
Doorstep, not goal. Well, I guess it's a goal step, too.
Fair.
Yeah, right on the goal step.
bad.
Yeah, that's a good one, Brad.
Mm-hmm.
Ball pinballs out of that draw, and it's controlled now by Stony Creek. Addison Fogler, the lone goal scorer, has it. And when you were talking about coaching up, even in a large deficit like this, I immediately looked over at the Birmingham sidelines, and Samantha Maselli kind of was coaching up Lily Herschelman. So kind of right on cue, so to speak, and you can coach up even with a large lead. I mean, there's teachable moments in games when you have a large lead as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yep, for sure. And the Birmingham coaching staff has got a lot of experience in the game of lacrosse. Next to Samantha is our old friend Jen Dunbar, and she said one of the greatest things about not being the head coach anymore is not having to
be interviewed by you.
Me,
yeah, I bet.
Before these games, she was smiling. I don't think I should have taken that the wrong way. She seemed awful gleeful though, and she spoke of not having to deal with it.
This is a legendary program here at Birmingham. State champions numerous times under the tutelage of legendary head coach Jen Dunbar. Has kind of taken a step back from the head coaching role, but is a very involved onlooker as an assistant coach. Samantha Maselli, the head coach, Abby Chapman, an assistant, Julie Dunnigan, Jess Faber, Carolyn Kaus, and Jenna Mandonsky as well, as Stony Creek nets their second goal of the game. Samantha Maselli, the head coach, played at Oakland University, so she has some next level experience.
And she was great, by the way, on the other side of the interview. She was very calm and smooth, and she was, I ask softballs, though, Brad. I mean, let's face it.
Tee them up for the coaches, do you?
I'm not, getting too deep into their personal life, obviously. It's just, it's all business here, and keep it light. But, no, Jen, I remember when we went to a couple of their practices, we were sort of a necessary evil, but she runs a serious show there.
Prairie, big rebound, spins out the Thurswell. Up ahead, Scuddabers having herself a good senior night. Might have telegraphed that pass just a bit. It's intercepted. Here comes the Cougars now, looking to create, but getting back defensively. Herschelman, who's just getting coached up by her head coach, Maselli. And another Stony Creek goal. So the Cougars starting to show some signs of life, as it's number 15, Charlotte Wilburn.
Well, they've got pride, and they've got skill and talent and all that stuff. So let's take a look here and see if we can find out how this went down. But they're not going to just lay down. I mean, they made the trip over here to Birmingham, and it didn't feel good to be down 15, 16 goals. So they've done their part to see if they can pull this thing a little bit closer at least.
So 16-3 our score. That ball ping-pongs out to La Prairie. Jen Dunbar, associated with University of Michigan girls lacrosse team back in the day. And the Michigan women's lacrosse team just beat Notre Dame by a goal, 15-14. I don't know, Andy, if you saw the highlight, but they scored with 1 second on the clock to beat Notre Dame, 15-14. They advance to the NCAA quarterfinals, the Elite Eight, and they will play number 2 seed Boston College.
Look out. They love their lacrosse out east.
Yeah, they sure do. But the Midwest has really picked up the game. And the reason why I talk about this is the men and women's team at U of M, very successful. Big Ten lacrosse has really picked up steam. And speaking of picking up steam, it's Lily Hershelman with the 17th goal of the game here for Birmingham. It's her second of the game. And when you talk lacrosse, you typically talked about the ACC, right? The Big East, the Dukes of the world, the Syracuses, the Marylands back when they were in the ACC were a power.
Well, Maryland, it's funny you mentioned that. I'm looking over some of the stats I had compiled before this game. Did you know, Brad, that lacrosse is the official state sport of Maryland?
Well, I do now.
Now you do.
So they do crab cakes and lacrosse, right?
Yes, they do. That's big for them. They do them both well. I also saw in some of my reading that women's lacrosse is going to become an Olympic sport in 2028. So something to look forward to for the lacrosse fans out there. And we've continuously seen that lacrosse is one of the fastest growing sports in the world, actually. Which is kind of unbelievable when you think about how long it's been around. You know, Native Americans.
We'll get another look at this last shot attempt.
Oh.
That was kind of underneath Borovich. Well, should make mention that just a couple days ago, it's SC again, Seidel this time, nets the third goal of the quarter. It's now 17-4. So before the goal, just kind of setting up the talk that the MHSAA, Andy, has just approved girls field hockey now as a varsity sport. That will be played in the fall, as well as boys varsity volleyball, which will be a spring sport. So 2 sports that will be added to the varsity list in 2 years. 2 years. 2 years' time.
2 years.
So that'll be unique. We'll be indoors for boys volleyball in the spring.
Yeah, no, I look forward to that. And certainly girls volleyball is one of the loudest sports we cover.
It's true.
Between them and the swimmers, they have volume cornered.
So you got boys lacrosse, you got boys baseball, you have track obviously taking up a lot of the athletes. So it'll be interesting to see what the participation totals are like for boys varsity volleyball in the spring.
Yeah, it makes you wonder if there's going to be enough athletes to fill out all these sports.
Field hockey in the fall. Fall time, let's see, we got girls volleyball in the fall. We have girls swimming in the fall.
Boys water polo, that's winter, right? Or are they fall? That's winter.
17-4, waning seconds of this third quarter. We'll see if Birmingham even gets a shot off. Just 5 seconds remaining. Shot deflected. Horn will sound. 3 quarters in the books with Birmingham in front of Stony Creek, 17-4. Both teams netting 3 goals in that third frame. We'll take another quick break here on BACB Sports. When we come back, it will be the start of the fourth quarter of play.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments, start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Brad Fetters alongside Andy Aubrey. Fourth quarter of play. All Birmingham all the time. Scoring has been fast and furious. They lead at 17-4. Still 59 seconds remaining on the penalty to Chloe Weber. So Birmingham playing a lady down here to start the fourth quarter of play. Stony Creek netting 3 third-quarter goals, have worked themselves back into the conversation, trying to pull a little bit closer here on the road. Birmingham got out to an early 3-0 lead before the Cougars were able to score their first goal of the game. BU led it 8-1 after one quarter of play, 14-1 at halftime, as Stony Creek failed to score in the second quarter. Mentioned the Cougars scored 3 goals in the third, as did Birmingham, so we currently sit at 17-4. Brad Fetters alongside Andy Aubrey. So glad you decided to tune us in here on BACB Sports. If you've missed any portion of tonight's game, you can catch up online, BloomfieldTWP.org, as well as the Birmingham Area Cable Board website. All of our games are on YouTube as well. Search BACB Sports. All of our programming here in Bloomfield community, as well as Birmingham, available to you online.
Beverly Hills, Franklin.
Yep. Yes, sir.
Bingham Farms.
You got it. The wonderful folks. Chloe Weber. I don't know. I think the official kind of made motion to see if she wanted to come out. She's going to go over to the bench instead. And Birmingham just going to play a little bit of a stall tactic now, a little bit of a old-fashioned weave play.
Well, they don't need a lot of more scoring. They need to bleed the clock out. So I think that's part of the mission here.
Nice save made by Lily Wolf. So you mentioned postseason play. Stony Creek went 10-9 last season. And you take a look at what Birmingham was able to do. You look at their overall record at 13-9 a season ago, but what they were able to accomplish in the postseason was fantastic. They went on a little bit of a run. And when I say a little bit of a run, they had wins over West Bloomfield, Chippewa Valley, and Troy Athens in the playoffs. So this is a team that kind of always, for whatever reason, kind of, I don't want to say coasts through the regular season, but just kind of tread water throughout the regular season, and then for whatever reason, this Birmingham team has always been able to just turn it on during the postseason.
Well, the trick is
peaking at the right time.
Peak at the right time, for sure. Stay healthy. Make sure your team, especially your stars, are not laid up. And, learn from the failures that occur throughout a season. Ooh, some rough play there. Who says this game's not rough, right? But they know that when the lights get bright, when those postseason games hit, is when you really need to turn up the volume, so to speak. So that has been the mantra for the Birmingham squad over the last couple of years.
Fortunately for them, they seemingly always match up with Rockford in the postseason.
Yeah, let's never discount some of those West Michigan squads, the Grand Rapids area schools have a long tradition.
Brighton has been a powerhouse as of late, back-to-back state champions for them. Prior to that, Rockford had a run of eight consecutive state championships for Rockford, including 3 straight wins over Brighton. So Brighton has played in the last 5 state championship games. Prior to that, Rockford back in 2017 and 16 beat this very Birmingham squad in the state championship. Last state championship for Birmingham and Jen Dunbar was back in 2012, a 12-11 victory over Heartland.
And Heartland's had a great tradition, too, in this game.
Yeah, we've seen their boys team against this Birmingham squad. Oh, look at that little sidewinder. That was a beautiful goal.
Yeah, nice goal there. Really creative angle to get that one, sort of skim it along the surface.
Avery Sachdalen with a absolute gorgeous shot and goal.
There it is. There it was. Kind of a sidewinder, low angle below the waist, and just a beautiful shot. So the 5th goal of the game for Stony Creek. And so they were not being abused without an answer here. And we're gonna
Avery
proceed.
calls for it. Ooh. She's got those bright green cleats on.
Yeah, those are
She's
they're like electric.
She's impossible to miss out there on the field.
She's got the bright green kicks and the bright hot pink hair tie. So she's very colorful. You can't miss her out on the field.
Approaching 6 minutes left to go in regulation. So it'll be interesting to see if that women's team at the University of Michigan is able to pull the upset this week against Boston College in the Elite Eight. That would be a terrific program builder.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, Boston College. I mean, that's like lacrosse royalty out there. Them, Syracuse, right?
Yep.
Maryland, you mentioned. Tremendous program.
John Hopkins has come over and is playing out of the Big Ten now, so that's a huge addition for Big Ten lacrosse. Kind of a staple of Memorial Day to watch college lacrosse all weekend long.
North Carolina has had some tremendous success, I know.
Some give and goes. Oh boy. 4th goal of the game by Ella Kusis, and that might seal the deal for her in terms of player of the game.
Yeah, I mean, just the gaudy numbers alone. We'll take a look at it here, and she just sort of glides across the middle, has a free and open shot, puts a lot of muscle behind it, and 18 now for the Birmingham squad.
I mean, Chloe Weber kind of got the party started tonight with 4 first-quarter goals. She sort of set the tone. She scored the first 2 goals of the game. So you can't really ignore what she's done tonight, but Ella Kusis has now bypassed her in the scoring column with 5 goals on the evening.
Yeah, it falls under the category of it's going to be a good night when.
Avery with the goal. Sachdalen, second straight goal for Stony Creek. So 18-6 now our score. You blink and you miss them.
They've been coming that way this whole game. One of the higher scoring lacrosse matches I think we've called, maybe ever.
Not quite up to those 19 goal totals against Dearborn Divine Child and Grosse Pointe South, but we're approaching it. We got plenty of time.
There is time. But we saw the Birmingham team go into not a stall per se, but a little bit more of a weave, as you mentioned it, Brad, and that's exactly what that's sort of what they need to do, is to just kind of get these minutes off the clock. And point made here tonight, they were the dominant team from start to finish, and they still, Stony Creek came back. They had their answer here and there, but just too much of a mountain to scale.
Kusis again. There is a half dozen. The young lady, junior. Just putting on a show here tonight. And they have reached that magic number of 19, so they have matched their season high for goals scored in a game. Should mention Dale Coates, varsity head coach at Stony Creek. Thank him for supplying me with tonight's roster. His varsity assistant is Dakota Coates, along with Don Wilson.
Yeah, Dale was great. I don't thank him myself. He was very free and easy with the information. Looked forward to the interview. We had a nice chat before the game. Sometimes the opposing coaches aren't always that keen on it. They kind of look me up and down, like, well, what's your goal? What's your mission? What are the questions going to be? What's this all about? And I just tell them, hey, we just want to get to know who you are, and you don't come around that often, but we're, glad to have you here, and tell us a little bit about your team. And while I was rambling on, Stoney scored another goal.
Yeah, Sarah LaPrairie set up. Akila Vivek. Little bounce shot by LaPrairie. 7th Stoney Creek goal of the game. So 3 fourth-quarter goals here for the Cougars. 19-7 our score. So many different Cougars getting involved in the scoring. Running clock continues to tick down. Under 90 seconds left to go in regulation.
And 7 goals is not a horrible offensive output, frankly. But when you're trying to make up 19 on the other side, it's tough.
And Birmingham wins another draw. And didn't get all of that pass. That'll be a takeaway here for Stoney Creek, looking to mount a last-minute charge. Exactly a minute now left to go in regulation. Prairie loses the handle, gains it right back. Avery cuts. Avery skip shot, no good. A little bit of a stick save made by Ava Borovich. So we mentioned this Birmingham squad, extremely young, just the 2 seniors honored prior to the start of the contest. So they're kind of taking their lumps this year, but should be geared up and should be outstanding next year.
Well, this is a marquee game for them. It's kind of a signature game. Next year, they're going to look back on the highlights of this season. I'm sure the banquet, and they're going to want to replay this one.
Yep.
Because everything went their way tonight. 19 goals, a massive output, and Coach Maselli, Coach Dunbar, they should be doing some high-fiving down there because their girls really put on a show.
And it's going to snap a 3-game losing streak, so it's going to feel good to break up a bit of a losing streak and can kind of begin to focus in now on the postseason. Troy Athens in Regional 3. Stoney Creek will play in Regional 7 over at Auburn Hills, Avondale. So that will do it. 19-7, our final score. It was Chloe Weber that opened up the scoring. 4 first-quarter goals, kind of got them going. And really, Ella Koussis and her 6 goals in this game. Too much for Stoney Creek to handle here tonight. Really impressive stuff out of the young ladies at Birmingham. The 2 Birmingham schools, Seaholm and Groves, combining forces as they come away with the 19-7 victory. I know, Andrew, you're going to go down to field level for our player of the game interview. Your final thoughts here tonight.
Yeah, I am. I'm going to head down there, but Birmingham's play on the field spoke for itself tonight. They just scored right from the get, and they never let up. Evenly spaced throughout the game, and end up with a very gaudy total of 19 goals, their largest of the season. So it's got to feel good for Birmingham as the players line up there to shake and show good sportsmanship. But, the Birmingham team should feel good about themselves. We're going to go down there and have a chat with number 81 in a couple minutes.
You got it. One final break here on BACB Sports. When we come back, it will be Andy's post-game interview as well as our post-game coverage right here on BACB Sports.
When it comes to making plans, you are the best. The same way you plan each detail for those moments. Start planning to protect you and your loved ones from a natural disaster. Protecting your family is the best plan you can make.
Welcome back one final time to Birmingham Seaholm High School. Sun nearly set here as it was all Birmingham dominating fashion in 19-7 victory in girls varsity lacrosse over Stoney Creek. Let's go down to field level now where Andy Aubrey is alongside our BACB Sports player of the game, Ella Koussis.
All right, Brad, thank you very much. We are here with our BACB Sports player of the game, Ella Koussis. 6 goals, Ella. What did you have for breakfast?
I don't know. Nothing out of the ordinary. I feel like today the team really pulled it together and we're able to come out with this big win.
Yeah, for sure. The records were completely reversed, them versus you. You came out and just started scoring right off the bat early. Is that what Coach Maselli preaches all the time, and it just worked today, or did you have a specific game plan today?
I feel like it was not a special game plan, but we really turned it around considering our record. I feel like this is a big win for us going into the playoffs, and I feel like because of this, we're going to be able to prosper.
Yeah, absolutely. We were saying that. That's exactly what a team win can do going into the postseason like that. How do you see it benefiting your team?
I think this win is really going to benefit us through the playoffs because we can carry this with us now, and I feel like we've reached our full potential that we've been waiting for this whole season, and because of this, we'll be able to go far in the playoffs.
Yeah. Well, you got to be peaking at the right time, and if you come out with an effort like this moving forward in the playoffs, I think you're going to do great. So, congratulations. Outstanding game for you and your lady friends over there, and they're all waiting. I'm surprised nobody's photobombed you or anything like that, but again, a great effort by you. And congratulations, and we'll be watching and hoping for the best for you moving forward. All right, we're going to wrap it up from down here, Brad. Send it back up to you to wrap it all up.
All right, congratulations to Junior Elacusis. 6 goals in their 19-7 rout of the Stony Creek Cougars. Birmingham improves their overall record to 5-14 on the season. Stony Creek falls to 13-4. I'd like to wish both teams good luck the rest of the way, including the MHSAA postseason. Should be a good one as we look for Birmingham to make another long postseason run. For my broadcast partner, Andy Aubrey, and the rest of our hardworking BACB sports crew, including our director tonight, Michael Koppmeyer, I'm Brad Fetter saying goodnight one final time. Thank you so much for watching. Once again, your final score, Birmingham 19, Stony Creek 7.